Welcome back to another wonderful session. Again, it's good to have you and thank you for making time for us. We are now going to look at the process of B Corp certification and just to look at the process from a bird's eye view, from beginning to end. And I'll also be telling you some of the best practices. And now the hard work starts. You go through the assessment. We did in a previous session how to navigate. Hopefully that's been helpful. And then also we're able to showcase some of the impact business models. I hope you've been able to unlock some from your business. What happens now? Now remember the scoring in each of the questions that you do, right? So the beginning of each pillar, there's going to be some declarative questions where you provide information, and the track then goes on to align the questions that best suit your assessment based on what you have declared in your registration, especially your number of workers, your revenue, and where the business operates from. Great. For you to then be able to submit your assessment, you need to have you need to meet a minimum bar. And that minimum bar is set at 80 points, 80. Now, I strongly advise that you work at attaining a minimum score of 90. And that's the reason for that is because going through the rest of the certification process, it's very common for businesses to lose points, right? And we want to ensure that even if you drop in your points, you don't go below the minimum bar of 80. Once you have a minimum bar of 80, then the submit button becomes activated. You can click on it and submit your assessment. Now, once you submit your assessment for evaluation, two immediate things are going to happen. Once there's going to be, only at this point do you then receive an invoice. All the process before that is completely free of charge. But once you hit submit, then it will trigger us to then look at your assessment. The section on governance where you provide your revenues will then be reviewed. Team member internally will then reach out to you. They'll request you to share your financials, and looking at your revenues, we will then send you an invoice. What happens at evaluation? A couple of checks happen here, and it's to check your eligibility. I'm sure in a different session this has been covered. We'll check to make sure that you are a for-profit business, sure that you have operated for at least a minimum of a year and you're able to provide us with audited financial books of accounts. 3, we will recertify you, or we confirm that you will be recertifying your 3rd year. And 4, that you as a business, majority of your income generating activities and your revenues, right? Above that, you've also met the legal requirements, and you can provide documentary evidence to all your IBM claims, as well as you can also provide documentary evidence to any question that is answered in affirmative in your disclosure questionnaire. And that can also be seen in a separate session that we covered. Now, if you are able to meet all these checks and you still keep your score above the minimum bar, which is 80, then we progress you on to verification. Again, we'll then invoice you 50% of your certification fee before we begin your verification. And you're now going to be audited or verified on all your claims by our third-party insurance partners. Once this process has been completed and you're still above your minimum bar, we then progress you on to your post-verification stage, where we then invoice you the balance of 25% of your certification fees, plus issue you also a B Corp agreement. And once you pay and sign that off, then we are happy to celebrate and announce you as having attained your B Corp certification status, right? I hope you're all looking forward to that. I am excited and looking forward to certifying you and supporting you through the process. It's been a pleasure. Thank you for making time. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.